Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the ThePCelitist. My name is Woodsy.
My name is Shepard.
And we're doing a video today. GGBeyondCom sent me a link to L1games channel. And this guy had a 40-minute, I don't want to say rant, because that has bad connotation.
Monologue.
A monologue, yeah. About the video games industry. And he was very passionate in what he was talking about, and he was right on many points. Okay, and I agree with him on many points. Just about the penny pinching of EA and the big video game industry, which is part of the reason I think why we love PC gaming, is because we get to kind of avoid a lot of that stuff since we don't have to go through a corporate filter to get our games.
Generally.
Generally. But, I mean, there's games like Minecraft. We just went to this dude's website and gave him money, and he gave us a game.
In the hopes that he would give us a game. And he did.
And he did.
He certainly did.
You know? That was back years ago when it just started.
Mojang.
And so, in his, in many of the issues he brings up that are legitimate, he throws in two, I don't know what you call it, two issues that I think he just threw in there that don't belong in the negative part of the video game industry.
He was playing which one of these does not belong.
Yeah, but he was just saying, like, this sucks, and now this sucks, and these four might be right, but then the fifth one I don't really agree with, but thrown in the mix, you might think it was a bad thing too. Does that make sense? So, I mean, a lot of things like the red herring that used games ruins the video game industry and all this other stuff. And he makes very good points on all these things. But then he says that digital downloads are they're just producers of games. They want to go digital just to, like, save their own money, and they're putting people out of jobs, and that makes them evil.
So when you self-publish or you digitally publish, when you make that decision, you are being greedy and evil because you are stripping people of the opportunity to work toward making physical copies of that game?
Again, remember, the rumors are these new systems are just going to be digital downloads.
Okay. But I just saw it because I haven't seen this video yet.
Right.
So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm saying the basic point is he was saying how, you know, these companies, they're just greedy, and now they're just going to go digital, and they're going to put all these people out of business, and that's just not how you do things. Okay?
A great way to end an argument.
Right. That's just
wrong.
It's not respectable. You know? But the movie industry is moving that way. The music and the book industry, bookstores are closing. This isn't like a big surprise that the game industry just invented.
The pizza industry. Order your pizza online.
And it comes out your disk drive.
I don't have to call the... Yes. It does. 5.25-inch form factor pizza.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
like, it's just another thing to support what he was saying, but didn't actually...
That gaming is by far not the first industry to do this.
Right.
They're actually lagging behind.
Right.
If anything.
Secondly, he then says that they're going to just overcharge us now, and we're not even going to have a physical game, and we don't actually own the rights to a game. You just own the copy. You know, they're licensed to the game. You don't actually own it.
You're paying for like an activation key, not
right
the actual game.
Now, there is an argument to be said that you never actually own a game. This has just been the most convenient way to get the game to A, and then to B, you. The most convenient way is through disc. But if the most convenient way turns into digital, you know, you were always just licensed it. You don't own the material on the disc. You own the disc. The material is not yours. You know, it's like if I bought a book, now it's my book. But the information of the book is not yours. You can't go start Xeroxing copies of the book and then selling them. You're not allowed to do that because you don't own it. You don't own the information.
Semantic argument, but valid nonetheless.
So, I was actually trying to make a video to give the guy a little bit of hope, considering us as PC guys have been doing just the digital thing I've been doing it for like 6 years.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I bought discs of a game.
Right. How do you think digital downloading of games has helped you, hurt you, not affected you?
It has helped. Actually, no, I did buy Cataclysm. That was the last one I remember because you and I went at midnight.
Yes.
That's a funny story, by the way. Let me tell you, stereotypes about Horde and Alliance players are true in real life, and we saw it play out.
Yeah.
We were the best-looking guys there.
4 people died that night.
Yeah. All of them. Mages. And all of them. Elves.
Gnomes.
Gnomes. No, there were Night Elf Force.
Who plays gnome here?
Anyway, it has literally helped me to stay on my ass and not have to drive to go buy the game.
Okay.
Insignificant, maybe, but if we're talking about several dozen games over the years, saved me a few trips. If I bought it through Steam, which I almost exclusively do, I saved on sales tax. So it literally saved me money, in addition to gas and mileage.
And also the deals they often have.
Deals they often have?
How long does it take in the store usually for a game to drop $10?
Quite a while.
Right. Steam, it's like...
And I usually have to pay attention to the website,
right,
because I don't go into the store that often. Certainly. I think the convenience is a huge factor toward... If I walk into Best Buy for something and happen to go into the game section and see, oh, that game is actually less expensive than I thought, maybe I'll buy it. But because I'm already there. That's the only convenience. I'll never go and just kind of browse. I log into Steam to play a game. I start on the store page, which is intentional. I start on the store page and I say, oh, that game's featured. And it's on sale this weekend.
Right.
That's, by the way, Steam, brilliant masterstroke of marketing to do random discounts on games. For me, the brilliance of digital download, having it all in one form, not only can you have more games available than on a physical shelf,
right,
I'd have to walk through miles of shelving to see all of the games that Steam has in one online catalog. But it's, I can't remember the name. I'll call it the James Woods effect. Because I can't remember the actual name for it. It's the ooh piece of candy, ooh piece of candy, ooh piece of candy. I'll look at a game I like, and because it's so easy to see another game I might like, or what other people are also liking in a digital platform, I'm much more likely to just try new things here and there.
Right.
Especially because it's so easy to just download, uninstall, reinstall. It's amazing. It's not one of those, I can't remember what life was like before. I don't know what I'd do without it. I remember what life was like before. It was pretty easy, too, to go buy a game and then just install it from discs.
Right.
So it's not like a leaps and bounds it has made gaming so much easier or better. It's just, it's so consumer-friendly. So consumer-friendly. So in terms of me personally, it has helped immensely. Me philosophically, ideologically, as it pertains to right and wrong, it's very problematic for pirating, which we've discussed in another video, in our PC Pirates video. Owning a physical copy versus you own the disc. We've talked about that and the problems it creates. But I think digital download has been great for the industry. You could say, for example, it costs jobs at an individual company, but if it's so much cheaper to self-publish games, you can also, the opportunity is there to create jobs. If you and I wanted to start our own gaming company, it's so much easier for us to do that now than 10 years ago. So much easier.
Right.
So you could hurt jobs in one sector, but open up entrepreneurs in another.
That's kind of where my thinking went when I was thinking about, well, how can I console this guy and say, look, yes, from your point of view, who's used to trading games with friends and buying used, it might seem like, well, now I'm just going to get shafted when this goes digital. And I don't know if this will carry over to Xbox, because we as PC users have different options. I don't like something going on in Steam, I'll go on goodoldgaming.com, which has no DRM. So they're doing all of that just, DRM free. So you do actually own the files. You own it. And there's other, there's now Origin.
You own the files. You don't own the ones and zeros in those files.
But I feel like this renaissance of PC gaming has come from the fact that people can self-publish games. There's way more types of games now, and gamers have a much closer relationship with the developer. Whereas, like Natural Selection 2, they're just like talking to the community all the time through YouTube, forums, and like, what do you like? What don't you like? People have talked to them and directly influenced how the game is balanced. Because There isn't this big corporate blob in the middle. This is the community over here. You guys are the professional game developers, and we're the professional marketers.
Do you think, though, that's just a function, the good fortune of digital download, that it happens to be popular at a time when we have the mediums for communication with developer and consumer? Do you think that if, for example, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, active forums were much more common 10 years ago, do you think that storefront brick and mortar game publishers would have had the same opportunity to have those benefits? Or do you think that there is something intrinsic to the intertwining of digital distribution and community involvement? Do you think those two are linked in fate?
I think,
or is it just right place, right time?
It's kind of a right place, right time thing, but you gotta think about like how games were in the past. Again, PC games and console games were very separate entities, very different. Mm-hmm. And I would say the quality of PC games just as a whole were better. And the reason was, I think, was that you had a lot of games that were literally just developed by the community. So is there community influence? Yes, because it's just modders changing that and changing this, and that's where Team Fortress came from. It's just people screwing with code. Natural Selection 2 guys, they love it. Like they hope, and their lead designer says this, I hope someone makes a mod that's more popular than our game. Mm-hmm. You know, I hope that happens. And I think that that's where PC gaming always has been more a vibrant community of game developers, you know, and people just modding stuff. So now it's just a super easy communication thing, you know. So it's always kind of in the roots of PC gaming. It's just being that fluid. What if we change this? What if we tweak this? Like this game, but a little different, and this and that in the community.
Do you think that lends itself to toward a change in the way games are marketed and thus launched? So, for example, you have alphas and betas, and most people will never get in an alpha in their life. Betas are so much more open now, where you can be in multiple betas at the same time.
Right.
Whereas, you know, betas usually were closed to power users. Do you think that game developers will be more likely to basically put out a somewhat refined rough draft of the game and just improve it as you go?
Yeah,
as opposed to we're releasing on April 25th, you know, and full launch. Like you can still have that full launch, but you with all the people who are complaining about day one problems or day one DLC, or we'll just shove the game out and we'll patch it later. For all the people who hate that resentment, would that resentment be stifled if a developer just came out and said, you know what, don't expect a finished product? But it has to come at a substantially reduced cost, obviously.
Right.
Kind of like what Mojang did. Mm-hmm. If you buy it now, it's $15, but you'll get every, you know. I wonder if you can kind of combat that by saying, we're going to release the game as is, and we want your feedback to drive the future. Not only will the game likely be less expensive, the game will be better in the sense of more gamers will feel that they actually had input into the way it was made. Not just the way it was made, but the final product.
Yeah, well, that's happening all over the place. It's happening with Mojang. It's happening with Natural Selection 2. It's happening with Double Fine's Adventure, the one they funded through Kickstarters. There's a game I've been kind of paying attention to called Path of Exile, which is like a Diablo 2 clone, but not really. And their system is it's going to be free to play when it comes out, but if you want to donate $10, we'll get you in the beta kind of thing. Like, that's happening right now. It's just a much more open development style. We're like, hey, we're developing a game and just getting interest, and that in itself is marketing. So I think that there's so much good that comes from digital download gaming, so much good that way overpowers the bad, which is that I can't take the disc and go, here, you try this game now. But I don't know that will translate to a system, a console system. I hope it does in some way, but I don't know that it will. So I don't know how much hope this could give that person, but I could tell from somebody who always bought games in store and was dreading going to digital that I love it now.
I will say this, though. If I want to shoot a quick note to the developer, so much easier to type on my keyboard than on a 360 controller where I have to move the stick around to highlight the letter that I want and take 45 minutes to say THX GR8 game.
Well, okay, so my question to the community now is digital downloading. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or you think, like, what's the balance for you?
If you don't know what it is, we really can't help you.
Yeah. My name is Woodsy.
By the way, we're talking about legal digital downloading here.
Oh.
Let me reiterate. Pirates, go fuck yourselves. He is Woodsy. I am Shepard. We're the PC Elitists. We're signing out.